All the lizard characters are peak laners, the drip is mid and their personalities are boring. Even a grain of sand would have more compassion for them than me. It's my #1 most hated arc in any anime. Period. Overlord came out at an interesting time. It was a few years before the big boom where they're releasing 15 isekais every season, but late enough for isekai genre to be somewhat known and for a series featuring it to come out every few seasons. It was a time when the genre itself started rising in popularity with the release of Log Horizon a few years before, and of course a few years before that, the series that popularized the isekai genre in the first place came out. That series being Sword Art Online, of course. It's an isekai series that had a very unique and interesting concept at the time, and even now is still very unique within the genre, where other series like Log Horizon and Sword Art Online would start you from level 1 and then follow the main protagonist as they work their way up in levels and skill to become a hero that goes on to beat the big baddies in raids and dungeons. Overlord decided to do the opposite. Instead of our protagonist starting from level 1 and working his way up to become the most powerful, he started at max level and was already the most powerful being in the world. That in itself isn't that unique, as there are plenty of isekai series that start off with a ridiculously overpowered main protagonist. But what was unique at the time was the fact that we weren't following the hero of the story that will save the world like usual. No. Instead, we were following the last big raid boss of any other isekai series. The one taking over the world, the leader of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, the most powerful sorcerer in the world, the great undead lich Ainz Ul Gold. It came at a time when I was high on the hype for isekai as a genre, as well as starting to get really nostalgic for MMORPGs after not having played them for a very long time. Seeing the trailer after thoroughly enjoying Log Horizon, Overlord felt like a fresh spin to the genre that I would very much appreciate. Plus, Ainz felt really unique among isekai protagonists, being a big skeleton sorcerer dude as well as just looking really damn cool. And then the first season came out and it was great, awesome even. It was everything I expected it to be and more. Ainz was the all-powerful undead sorcerer, Shaltir was the sassy and sadistic vampire, Cocytus was the honorable ice bug warrior, Aura was the happy-go-lucky dark elf beast tamer, Mare was the shy but powerful magic user, Demiru was the all according to Keigoku duck character, and of course, my beloved Albedo. She's got an awesome design, interesting personality, and is the character that awakened my massive appreciation for characters with wings on their hips, even though they are mega silly if you think about it for more than 5 seconds, but I don't care. They just look really damn cool, okay? She also made me appreciate the voice actress Yumi Hara. Whenever I hear her voice in anything, that thing just got straight up better because of it. There's a reason that Albedo is the face of Overlord together with Ainz. I swear I'm not down bad for Albedo, okay? Safe to say I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Season 1, watching a horror series but from the perspective of the monsters, as they horrify and effortlessly overpower any attempts of retaliation. And also, the armor. Have you seen Albedo's armor in this scene? Holy moly, it's so damn cool. I would like to clarify again that I am in fact not down bad for Albedo, okay? Watching as the Tomb of Nazarick works from the shadows, manipulating people, and Ainz pretending to be a warrior named Momon to get more information on the world, only to start becoming the legendary hero that will one day have to combat the forces of darkness, which in this case is the Tomb of Nazarick and Ainz himself. Kind of ironic that the thing that will save them from the forces of darkness are the very same forces of darkness. It also had awesome scenes like the famous Ainz hug. Watching as Clementine, the character audience grew to despise, get what she deserves was very satisfying. Plus, it was just really well animated. And then finishing the first season with an epic and iconic fight against Shaltir, where Ainz spends literal 5 minutes just casting buffs on himself, followed up by an awesome and tactical fight of them throwing out one ridiculous ability after another. Literal clash of titans as the whole place gets more and more decimated. Honestly, couldn't have asked for a more epic finish to the first season. It was so epic that even someone like my past self who disliked reading books picked up the light novels and started reading them. I started from the beginning just to find out all the little bits that were missed out from the anime, and honestly, I'm glad I did, as it was absolutely worth it, and some of the bits were very interesting indeed, like Albedo having sisters that were not even mentioned in the first season, and both of them being so insane that I had to be locked up. I would like to take a moment to let you know that I am not down bad for Albedo. I repeat, I am not down bad for Albedo. Thank you. And then I caught up with the novels to the point where the first season of the anime ended, and I suppose I should stop stalling and gushing about how much I love season 1 of Overlord. I should actually address the reason that you clicked on this video in the first place. To talk about the title, why Lizardmen ruined the series. Right, so in a vacuum, the Lizardmen arc is pretty okay. Your usual story about the band of underdogs, which in this case are the Lizardmen, watching as their villages are suddenly being threatened by the villains, which in this case are the inhabitants of the great tomb of Nazarick and Ainz himself, following their journey as they're trying to fight against impossible odds with only determination and resilience as their weapons. Usual shonen anime stuff. As I said, it's all good stuff in a vacuum. But in reality though, oh, who am I trying to fool here? The Lizardmen arc is a pinnacle of trash, a dumpster fire that hurt my very soul and made me want to get a refund for the time I spent consuming it. This arc single-handedly ignited my undying and burning passion for hating anything and everything related to lizard people in any media. All the lizard characters are peak laners, the drip is mid and their personalities are boring, even a grain of sand would have more compassion for them than me. It's my #1 most hated arc in any anime, period. Bound arc from Bleach, move aside because we got a new king of terrible anime arcs, the Lizardmen arc. You can tell that I dislike this arc just a little bit, so let's go over why. First of all, let's go back to Overlord Season 1 and see how the last arc went. It was awesome, bombastic, high power level fight showing off anything and everything that Tier 9s had. Chef's kiss, what a perfect way to end the first season of an anime. And what is this followed up by? Some peasant looking lame ass lizards with nothing to their name aside from plows and rocks as the main protagonist for like 4 novels straight. You have to actually be kidding me here. How did we go from Ainz and Tier leveling actual mountains to lizards leveling molehills at best? This is actually unreal. The feeling I went through reading this arc is the equivalent of getting to the last boss in a 100+ hour JRPG only for the game to say lululul, get owned, and delete my save, making me start from level 1. Also, for the love of everything that's holy, why did I not only have to read but also have to watch 2 lizards bang it in excruciating detail, I might add? Why was this necessary? Did it add anything to the story? Of course not. It just added the need for me to bleach my brain and eyeballs just to try and forget about it. You have no idea how much I loved watching the end of this arc, as all their hopes and dreams shatter right before their eyes. Chef's kiss, absolutely beautiful, just wish it went on a bit longer and their ending was even more tragic. How did we go from these awesome larger-than-life characters with cool powers to just some lizard peasants? And on top of that, why did they hog the whole of Screen Time, leaving barely any for the cool characters of Nazarick? And what was all this for? They barely show up in the story anyway, so I don't get why they were introduced in the first place. In conclusion, you might be thinking something like, but Serby, this arc isn't as bad as you make it out to be. Logically speaking, what likely killed the momentum of Overlord is the fact that it took too long for a second season of the anime to come out, that the visual quality of the anime wasn't as good as the first season, that more great isekai series were released afterward that overshadowed Overlord, and blah blah blah. That's all cope and only the symptoms of a greater disease. What truly ruined Overlord were the Lizardmen. They are the main culprits, always have been, always will be. Why did it take so long for the second season of the anime to come out? Because animators didn't want to draw Lizardmen, so they were dragging their heels as long as possible until they had to do it. Why were the visuals of Season 2 not as good as Season 1? Because the animators were so demoralized after having to draw so many Lizardmen that all their motivation for the rest of the season tanked. Was Overlord really overshadowed by other great isekai series? Absolutely. Why? Because the other great isekai series didn't have whole arcs dedicated to Lizardmen, that's why. My crusade and burning passion for hating Lizardmen will never stop, and my mind will never be changed. You can bring up any excuses or arguments you want in the comments below, but deep down in your soul, you know I'm right, so stop pretending and accept reality. That is all for the video. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and good night.